what I want to do now is I got a list of hashtags that you post, and I want you to kind of tell me what it meant.
Okay. Tell you what
It's not a long
hashtags.
list, so.
Okay.
The first one, hashtag Augusta supports its own.
Okay. So that hashtag, we kind of talked about that a little bit. That hashtag is just affirming the fact that if I'm from the city of Augusta, there are people who will support anything that I'm willing to put out as long as I'm putting out things that are quality, right? My expectation is that I'm putting out something that you want and you enjoy and you love, and I know that if I do that, you'll support that thing, whatever that looks like. Because people feel like if I launch a business, ain't nobody going to do this, ain't nobody going to show up, ain't nobody going to pay for it. But that's not necessarily true. I proved that wrong numerous times.
I like that. Okay. Hashtag, if not us, then who?
So that one was kind of targeted at people from Augusta, right? We always talk about we want this to be better, we want these opportunities, we want this to exist. But if you want those things, get with the people who are like-minded, who want those same things, and make it happen. Like, you can't always just sit back expecting things to happen and not do anything. You have to be willing to do it. So if not us, then who?
I like that. I mean, you answered the question very well. I've been having some good guests this year. It's been a good year.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
It's
lie.
a good year. It's a good year.
Starting the year off good.
I'm gonna say this too. You mentioned something earlier about working with creators and just it's your baby. One thing I can say is I work with Slim. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody that when he started his own thing, we kind of linked up together. We spoke and everything, and I just took a gamble. I was like, well, let's work it together. You know what I'm saying? It's been going good for me so far. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Also, I want to say that.
So you got to do that too.
If not us, then who? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I actually sent Maine a sensitive text the other day, and I was
Yeah,
like,
I
he's
was
probably
kinda-
gonna text me back and be like, "Nigga, you gay."
Nah, it was kind of wild, but I was having a rough day, so
First,
it was
see,
good. It was cool.
Yeah.
That's that right there. Oh, I didn't even talk about this at all. So, oh gosh, I don't want to.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things I've started doing is I just finished illustrating my first book. It's a published book. I'm a published illustrator.
She an author too,
Yeah.
guys. This is crazy.
So,
a lot of hats.
so my the first book I just finished up is dedicated to kids who grow up in a home where their parents were together, their parents have split, and they kind of bounce back from home to home. That's what the first book is about. And so it stars a little black boy named AJ. It was written by Andrea Evans, and I illustrated the book for her. But I'm about to start working on some books of my own that has a character of my own. And one of the things that we're going to deal with, which was what sparked that for me to remember, is emotional intelligence, right? How what your types of emotions and feelings are and how you can articulate those things and not feel like you're X, Y, and Z for saying it, right? So when you said, you sent him an emotional text message and you felt like he was going to respond in that way, that's a problem. And
Yeah, my emotional intelligence is like a 60.
but that's the thing, is that we're not training our boys and girls to understand their emotions and understand that it doesn't make you X, Y, and Z if you feel or you want to articulate something about your feelings or your emotions. So that's why I wanted to say something about that, because
I'm
I'm working on a book now for that, and I think it's just really important because you shouldn't feel like somebody's gonna say, "Oh, you gay," if you know what I'm saying. If you articulate that I care about you and I feel a certain way, or I'm thankful for who you are. There's nothing wrong with that, and we should do more of that within our community and not feel a way about it. I think a lot of times, a lot of the conversations we need to have don't happen because you're afraid of how people will receive you just expressing yourself, and that's a problem.
I just want to throw it out there. I didn't say he was gay either.
No.
No, I know. I know.
No, we're not saying that.
I was
But
just
but it's just the fact that you can feel that way, or like just like simple things of like not wanting to hug people, or like do certain things that just show that you just care about them, right?
Yeah.
And you just like hesitant about doing it, or you just don't do it at all. Because you're afraid of whatever stigma is attached to it. So that's definitely something I'm
a
working on.
conversation need to be had. You're
Yeah.
right. And man, I'm pretty sure me and Slim can agree that we probably both have done that, but we didn't say what we feel, whether it's another woman or whatever it can be. And there's a problem. You're right.
Yeah.
And she's right. It's kind of about like how you grew up.
Yeah,
because
one of the worst things you can tell a little black boy is don't cry.
Yeah.
Don't cry again. Man up.
I
You
grew
ain't
up
no
in a
girl.
household like that.
Yeah, like
So you already grew
that's
up thinking that only
horrible.
women can be emotional.
Yeah.
I always say that. And that's why I feel like when I was young, I would cry. Like they was always trips. I haven't cried like I'm on 15, 30.
And that's crying is one of the best things you can do because it's a release. It's like even sometimes if you don't even know why you're crying, like it's just you're releasing those things from outside of you. And I think I've always looked at crying as very important because I think in the Bible, I'm gonna pull a Bible verse on y'all, but in the Bible it talks about God collecting your tears. He cares that much about what's going on with you, so He collects your tears and keeps holding them, and they have names for why they were shed.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's important. It's valuable. It means something. It's doing something for you mentally, spiritually, emotionally when you do. So to tell people that they can't do that, that's crazy.
I'm just happy I think now in like today's world, people are more hip to that now, so they're saying that like don't tell boys that, or they're letting boys be.
But
boys
it
be
needs to be
themselves
like
now.
it needs to be a real, and I think too like in that whole movement of like telling people that they can do those things, like not just tell them they can, but talk to them about like why they're doing it, and then afterwards like having conversations about, okay, what happened, what made you, and articulate it. I think that's one of the missed opportunities for girls, right? Because we're allowed to cry, but then we're allowed to, have those emotions and stuff like that. But who's having conversations with the girl afterwards to say, okay, what made you cry? What made you feel that way?
Yeah, now it's about controlling those emotions.
And controlling them, right? Because we got too many women running around here just thinking that they can just fly and do whatever they want to because they're emotional in that moment and not processing those emotions properly.
Yeah, that's kind of what you're right though. Women do that.
Yeah, we're allowed to have those emotions, but nobody's telling you, okay, how to get control of those things.
And we definitely need to fix the self-centeredness when it comes to women. That's my biggest topic.
Self-centeredness?
Yes,
explain. Please explain.
That. I feel like most women are very self-centered and they just cannot see outside of their little box.
Yeah.
Like, most humans are like that, period. But more so in women. Yeah.
I can totally see that. And I think so I've been talking to a guy, and we have a really good relationship. And we were talking about an incident where something happened. He one of the best things you can have about a friend or whomever you deal with is somebody who can correct you, right?
Yeah.
And tell you when you was wrong. And so I had something happen, and we were just talking about a story, something that happened, and I told him what I did, and I think I might have, I don't know how it went, but the whole thing that was important to take away from it was that he was saying like, a lot of times a girl will hit you up and be like, how you doing, or what's going on with you today, or expecting you to do that for them, but they don't really care about what's really going on with you. And so it was like, that kind of hit me in a way, because it's like, okay, your expectations is that you want this man to care about your day, care about what's going on with you, but have you really asked him what's going on with him? Have you really cared enough about and to listen to, like what's going on, what's your problems, what, whatever. It's just like we can be very self-centered sometimes and only think that everything is about us. But I think that's a part of what I call the Disney complex.
I said that too. Growing up looking at Cinderella and stuff,
and
you're supposed to find that frog.
Yeah.
Was that Cinderella?
No, you mix it like what is it?
I never seen any of them.
The Prince and the Frog. And
I never seen any of them.
All of them have the same horrible storyline, which is that a woman is supposed to spend her time looking for somebody who's going to give her what she wants instead of her going out and getting it for herself. So I think, but that's the mentality that we're bred with. So it's just like all of those things be important to us as kids, and so when we grow up, that's our expectation. But nobody's ever addressing it.
I don't know if I should be talking about this on the podcast, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. I had someone hit me up this week. She's throwing a farewell party for her boyfriend, and she's gonna propose to him since she wanted some picture shot.
Jesus Christ.
What you think
Don't
about
do
women
it.
proposing to men?
Reconsider.
I seen somebody propose. I seen a woman propose to a man at a basketball game last night. So, what you think about that?
Oh, that's tough.
I'm a very opinionated person. I'm gonna leave with that. But I'm also a person who believes in structure, and believes in like a hierarchy system when it comes to humanity. And in that hierarchy system, men are they're the leaders, right? They head start a lot of things, and so one of those things I believe should be like a marriage, that type of commitment that you make with another individual. And I think that any woman that does that, any woman who proposes to a man, will spend a lot of her time, unfortunately, wondering if that's really what he wants. And the reason why is because he didn't ask for it. You see what I'm saying? Like you're putting yourself in a position to spend a lot of time wondering, and that's how women are. We overthink, overanalyze, everything. And I think that one of the reasons why that standard has always been set for a man to ask a woman for her hand in marriage is because that eliminates so many issues or things that we should have to ever think about. Right, yeah, to ever think about. And I think that's just in our, like, how we're wired as men versus women. It's just, it's so damaging to do something like that.
I'll be embarrassed if a woman asks to marry me.
You know, and that's the thing too. Like,
me too.
Like, you don't respect me as a man.
And I would never want a man to propose to me or a woman to propose to a man if you haven't had conversations. And 9 times out of 10, I'm sure these women proposing to men haven't asked them, hey, how would you feel if I proposed to you? Because I don't know no man, not a man that I would want, who would tell me, hey, baby, that's okay.
Yeah,
go ahead and go get that
I say
ring.
it jokingly. I'll be like, yeah, you know, you should be lucky to have me.
Yeah,
I say it jokingly.
But that ain't
but
a
on
lie.
some serious, I'll
a
be like,
woman should be lucky to have you. But at the same time, like, proposing to me, like,
I know it feel messed up. I just feel like
getting
women,
on your knee.
Women be ready before men sometimes when it comes to that life. Sometimes when it comes to like spending a life with somebody.
Yeah.
So to ask the man is like, you don't know if he's ready yet. You know
that's what I'm saying. You're gonna spend your whole time. Which is why the man don't normally ask, because when they're ready, they'll go ahead and do it. Yep.
Like it's no reason for that. There's a lot of things that can switch. Like you talking about selling red, all that stuff that can switch, but that part I don't agree with. I think that shouldn't change at all.
That's
something that's like stapled in life. Like the man needs to ask.
And maybe I don't know. Maybe I got an old mentality, or I'm not too traditional, but I just feel like that's one of those things where I would never.
Yeah, it's weird.
I would never.
But can you imagine telling your kids that story? Like, how y'all got married? Well,
I got out on a knee.
I wasn't ready, but you know, your mom went ahead and rushed me. So
she forced me. She tricked me.
So,
she tricked you.
She tricked me.
That is how relationships start most of the time, though.
Whoa, wait, who's starting relationships like that?
I mean, sometimes it's like, so you get the text after y'all just had a good night, and it's always, so what are we?
Text.
You don't want to tell her like, you don't want to tell her like, hey, you know, calm down.
I'm a different breed of woman. I'm gonna just say that, because that don't ever come from me. There's people who probably hate my guts because I don't do stuff like that. But it's just like, yo, for what? Like,
what's your sign?
I'm an Aquarius. Okay. My birthday is on Thursday.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Oh, I didn't know you was a Zodiac, man.
Definitely got to put a clip out on Thursday. I'm gonna go to the other hashtag. Hashtag be the change.
Oh, that's just like about, you know, again, you can sit back and complain about what things are or aren't. But if you want something to change, you have to be that change that you want to see. I think it's somebody's quote is that be the change you want to see, or something like that. I don't know. It's somebody's branding a slogan or something. But yeah.
Hashtag being is doing.
Okay, so being is doing is like what I live my life by. I think there are tons of things that I'm skilled at and that I want to have an opportunity to do. And I've always felt like if, you know, say you want to be a photographer, well, you got to take photos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to be a model, you got to put on clothes and you got to walk. Like, you can always sit back and say what you want to do, but if you're not doing the action, then you're never going to become the thing. So.
Okay, I like that. I feel like every hashtag you got a meaning too. So
everything
you do
has a meaning. I told you everything has.
All of it's strategic.
Like, I don't think she does anything during the day that's like, I don't know why I did that.
No.
All right. Hashtag, it's the last one. Hashtag faith with works.
That's along the lines of being doing, but more from a biblical standpoint. So it's like you can believe in a thing, you can pray on a thing, you can meditate on a thing. But if you don't ever put work to it, put action behind it, it's never going to come to fruition. One of the things about faith with works is that a lot of times there's a misconception that, you know, God is going to do all of these things for you. But a lot of times God is waiting on us to do a thing so that he can do it for us. Okay. So that's what that was about. That
sounds familiar, don't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Wait, y'all had somebody preach to y'all?
Nah, I shared something on Facebook, and it was something like, have you ever been broke and God looked out for you and got you out of that? And I reposted it and said, hell nah, man, thought it was funny as hell.
I thought it's funny like because I know a lot of church people follow him, and I feel like he do stuff to piss them off some days.
Well, this is the thing. Like, the best analogy I have is like, okay, imagine you riding down the road, right, and your tire goes flat. Right, you pull over on the side of the road and you don't know how to change a tire. So you like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. Now, you got two options. You can, well, I guess three. You can sit in the car and just worry about it and figure out, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. You can get out and you can try to change the tire, or you can call somebody to come change the tire for you, right? Those are 3 options that you got. Now, if the last one, if you ain't got insurance, or you riding right? dirty, and can't nobody come and change the tire for you, then you only got 2 options. Now, the less likelihood of you getting what you need if you don't know how to change that tire is if you sit in the car, cars are going to continue to pass you. They're going to continue to pass you because they don't know why you're off on the side of the road, what you're trying to do. They don't know what your situation is. But if you get out of the car and you start to try to change it for yourself, or you look at it, or you start pulling out the tools that you do have, and you know that if I got these out, somebody's going to stop, and they're going to assist you. But they don't know to stop and assist you unless you start doing the thing. And I think that's what a lot of us forget. It's like you got all these ideas, all this stuff going on in the inside of you, but you're not doing anything. So there's nobody to assist in anything if you're not doing nothing, right? There's nothing to assist.
Prayer
but the
without actions.
Yeah, but the moment you get out there and doing what you can with what you have, then somebody's going to stop and help you. And you're going to get everything you need along the way so that you can get the thing done. So, like, that's the faith what works. It's like you have to understand that concept. You get more along the way than you ever do up front with anything.
I mean, that makes sense. You know, I just like the fact that you always have your hashtag. Everything you post has got, like, you know, the L and L, and then I think it's just dope. Everything you do is like from a branding standpoint. Even the Facebook post, anything you do, you wearing. Today you came here, you got the shirt on. I think that's weird. People come here and they got a brand and they don't have it on. I'll be like, well,
what are you doing?
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make no sense. But this was dope, man. I feel like I learned a lot. You know, and I feel like people that's watching are gonna learn a lot.
Cool.
And then I feel like people gonna get to know who you are. You know?
Yeah, that's what I want people to know that. Like, I think sometimes in people's minds, like, I'm not like a human being.
You do so many things. They're like, nah, it can't be possible.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like I want to do more things like this so that people can get a feel for who I am and know that I'm just like anybody else.
Well, I think the first time I seen you was on Mo podcast actually, and I thought that was dope too because it was Mo, you, and 2 other people. And even then, not to diss anybody.
No, it was Mo. It was Shay.
Shay, I'm sorry. I do, yeah.
Yeah, it was Shay.
And even then, it was just, you can see the difference in everybody at the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just knew a lot more, you know, about certain things. Like, even how you spoke and how you, it's almost like you carried the podcast at that point. I was telling Shay that, and I was like, that's good. Well, you need to have one again. Yeah, I thought it was dope. Nah, for real. Like, because she was, you know how you could tell a difference, like, you got 2 other like business people on here, but here she is saying, I feel like they were learning from her, which is good though. But I feel like they were learning more from you, and it was dope. So lots of I kind of knew already from you because I listened when y'all was talking and all that stuff. So it was just dope. But even then, like, you know, Shay didn't do video or anything. She just did
and that was the thing.
Audio.
The 2 podcasts that I did previous to this one, neither of them did video. So that's why I thought this one was really cool to do because it was actually a video attached. I
always put out snippets anyway. But like I said, I wanted to try something new this year, and the goal was just to do only videos on the podcast that I felt like were gonna be like featured podcast for the month. But what happened was, we just started doing it every week, and then I feel like it's kind of pointless now to not do that.
Yeah, you might.
I think it's cool.
Bro.
I think it is. I like it because it makes it so much different from the other podcasts.
And it keep me having footage for people, so like I could always put something out somebody months down the line. I just put a video of Ken last December about black politicians, and it helped because at the time there was some black politicians running. You just get the key footage, and you could just always go with the time. Like, so it's just dope.
I was talking to him last night.
Yeah, Ken is amazing, man.
Yeah.
But this was dope, man. You know what I'm saying? Anything you want to say to people? Give me you got any Twitter? I don't know if you got any social.
I am on Facebook. You can find me Latasha N. Lewis. It's Louis. And then you can find me on Instagram. It's Lou, Lou, and then it's LNLCO. But yeah, you can find me on either one of those. And then my website, of course, which is www.verbatim, verbatimlnl.co. But yeah, that's where I can be found.
That's dope, man. I'm just happy to be able to tell you about you exist. She's a real person. You know what I'm saying? Here she is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
face behind the brand.
Because I never have pictures and stuff up, really, so people don't know.
Man. Yeah. All right, man. More Than Masters podcast. We out. Thank you once again.